What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and today I'm going to be ranking all of the official Blue-Eyes White Dragon artwork, specifically minus one card, because I wanted to have it as an even 12 number. But we'll talk about that one a little bit later on. So as you see on the screen, I have all of the Blue-Eyes artworks. I have tiered it from the GO.A.T. Now the GO.A.T will officially be only one artwork. I'm not going to put multiple artworks up there. It's going to be my personal preference of the greatest of all time artwork for particularly Blue-Eyes White Dragon. And then we'll talk around like S tiers, A tiers, B tier, C tier, D tier, and E tier. Obviously, you could probably put some of these as like Z tier because some of the artworks are not that great in my opinion for Blue-Eyes. But yeah, I mean, it'd be quite funny if all Blue-Eyes just went on B tier because, you know, Blue-Eyes White Dragon. We're not going to be doing that. We're actually going to be very subjective on this one, and I'm going to explain my choices behind it. Anyone in the chat that has a different preference, then just by all means let me know and kind of go from there. So, let's start with the most recent artwork for Blue-Eyes White Dragon that we received here in the TCG. So, the one that we received here in the TCG is the one from Rarity Collection 4. Now, literally William Valance has made this a very good nickname for this one. This is the Blue-Eyes Big Belly Dragon. I love that name. Such a good name. So obviously, this is the most recent quarter century secret rare one that we've got, and this is the first time we've received the artwork in a physical card form. I don't think it's that great, in my opinion. Like, you need to take away how good it looks as a secret rare, a quarter century secret rare, you name it. We are just looking at the artwork purely itself. Now, I'm not going to be an artistic breakdown on this and be like, oh, well, the face proportion's a little bit off, or this and that is a little bit off. Like, I just feel that the kind of focus of the artwork on this one is exactly that, is the belly of Blue-Eyes. Now, I know it's a little bit different from the others that we have. Absolutely fine. I just don't feel that it's that great of a representation for Blue-Eyes White Dragon. Some people might think differently. Absolutely fine. I'm also a little confused on his right arm because it looks like his right arm, if you look up here. So his right arm here, here we go. It looks like the thumb's on the outside of the arm or of the hand when it's not. It's obviously on the inside. Because I'm pretty sure it's on the inside, or it's technically like on the bottom of that one there, isn't it? But it looks like it's on the wrong side. It just looks a bit goofy. That's just me being very picky. But yeah, like, it's not the worst artwork of all the Blue-Eyes, spoiler, but to me, it's not my personal favourite. I would kind of rank this one as like, if E is the, I'll tell you what, E will only have one artwork in it as like the worst Blue-Eyes to date. The GO.A.T will only have one Blue-Eyes in it. Everything else can have multiple Blue-Eyes in it. So to me, Big Belly Blue-Eyes is going to be a D. This might change as I go through the rest of them because I might think, oh, actually, if I've rated that a D, I might rate something else a bit of an A or a B or whatever. So the next one I'm going to talk about, and this is the one that's obviously going to be a little bit questionable, is the Blue-Eyes Malefic Dragon. Now, the reason that I've kind of counted this as a Blue-Eyes kind of card is technically it is Blue-Eyes White Dragon with a bit of an upgrade from the Malefics. What I do like about this one is it is literally just Blue-Eyes with like a bit of an armor on it. Like the face has got a bit of change, and then its wings are kind of changed. And I love the background as well. I think the background really fits the Blue-Eyes because it's kind of like this burst stream of destruction behind it, which is really kind of cool. So overall, I do like the artwork. I think if you were to take away the Malefic kind of elements of this and just use this as a Blue-Eyes White Dragon artwork, I don't think it would be that bad of an artwork either, really. I think the artwork would actually look quite nice if this were just Blue-Eyes. Now, I wonder, I am curious. Blue-Eyes Malefic Dragon. Someone must have made this into a Blue-Eyes White Dragon, right? Surely someone has adapted this online so it looks like Blue-Eyes White Dragon. No, it doesn't look like they have. I'm just curious as to what it would look like if it didn't have the Malefic like color system to it and it was just like normal Blue-Eyes. But yeah, regardless, I think it's a really kind of nice artwork. I think it kind of it just fits Blue-Eyes a lot more. It's not like here's my belly kind of thing. It is literally just it's kind of more reminiscent of old school Blue-Eyes styles. So to me, the Blue-Eyes Malefic I think is definitely better than Big Belly Blue-Eyes. So I would definitely be putting this as like C. I'm not too sure if I'll class it as a B grade. Maybe it is. And we'll talk about that a little bit more once we go through some of the other Blue-Eyes artworks. The next one we're going to talk about is the manga artwork. Now, we only recently received this here. And this is this version of Blue-Eyes White Dragon. Now, I don't mind it in regards to how they're giving us the manga artworks. I think that's absolutely fine. But in regards to the actual artwork on this one, it kind of seems a little bit stumpy. It does seem a little bit odd. Like, the yellow around it kind of makes it look like it's been struck like lightning. I know it is literally just page for page. Let me try and find it, the actual manga. Let me see if I can find the manga artwork as well to put it side by side so you can kind of see it. Like, there are better manga choices for it. You do also have the manga Blue-Eyes White Dragon, like, in its original form. But I swear this was the manga art style. Maybe you might not be able to fully find it. But, yeah, I just don't feel like it's nice, but it is very, very cartoony. And obviously, I'm saying this about a children's card game, but it kind of looks like a chibi version, which it isn't a chibi version. And it kind of is very, very like, it is definitely print to card. That's what I mean. Like, it's literally just come from the card, or like from the manga to print. So it doesn't really have this real look of a dragon to it. It doesn't have this menacing look. When you kind of compare it to like, the one in the space out here, the movie version as well, it doesn't look like an intimidating dragon. It does look like a baby version of dragon. It's probably closer to like an alien head on a toon Blue-Eyes White Dragon. So I personally don't think that this is the best Blue-Eyes. I just feel that the face looks a little bit more like an alien than it does look like a dragon. Like, if you were to make this black and then put a bit of like green like slime coming out of its mouth, you'd probably mistake this for being like the queen alien. So that, in my opinion, it's still a nice one. I don't think it's better than the Malefic. I think it's probably better than Belly Blue-Eyes for sure, but I don't think it's a higher tier than Belly Blue-Eyes. I think it's probably like on the same level of Belly Blue-Eyes, in my opinion. The movie Blue-Eyes White Dragon. Now, I actually really quite like this one. Again, it's not my personal favourite, but I do like the artwork on this one. I love the background in this. I like the sparkling stars. I like the look of Blue-Eyes. It looks more like Azure Eyes to me. Because Blue-Eyes has always been a bit of a weird one. It's like, is it a white dragon or is it a blue dragon? And the reason I say is it a white or a blue dragon is when you look at some of the artworks down here, it's all kind of more like presented as a blue dragon. And then the spirit dragon is like the white version, or the Azure Eyes is the grey version kind of thing. So like the colour schemes are a little bit different. So in regards to the colour scheme on this one, it's definitely a little bit less, like a little bit more lacking. I do like the way that it works. I love the body sculpture. I love the different kind of layers behind it. It actually looks like metalled armor, so it looks like it's going to be strong and seriously powerful. So it does look like a more intimidated dragon. So like when you want to try and compare this, so did I leave the artworks open? No, probably not. When you kind of compare this with some of the other artworks, like the manga one, the head, my biggest issue with the manga one is the head. It just doesn't look proportioned to the rest of the body, and it kind of like detracts from what I'm trying to see. Like, this looks like a full-scale dragon, whereas the manga one does look like it's got little stumpy legs and a massive big body. So like, just when you're kind of taking into account like all of those type of factors. So yeah, I think that the movie pack is one of the better artworks. Really do like it. I love the background as well. I love, like, if you actually look at this, like, look at the clouds, right? Or clouds or smoke or however you want to call them. They look like pastel drawing. They look like they've been drawn in pastel. And it kind of really does bring the blue eyes forward, and the light from the sky, it kind of fulfills this whole element of like, wow, when this monster's summoned, if I look at this card art, it feels like a special summon. It feels like something that just really pops. So to me, the movie artwork is one of the best, hands down. I'd probably say S tier. That it's not the greatest, in my opinion, like to me, but I'm going to have the greatest version to other people. And I almost guarantee that, because my greatest is going to be probably more to like use and nostalgia and artwork and everything else in between. So we'll continue to go through that and then come back to it. Right, the next one that we're going to talk about, I'm going to talk about this one next to the LOB one. So this is the Rushdoll one. So this is Rushdoll Blue-Eyes, which is basically a upgraded version, when I can find it, This one. So that's an upgraded version. Where'd the other one go? It's right behind it. There we go. So you've got the Rush dolls, and then you've got the original Legend of Blue-Eyes. Blue-Eyes. So the Rush doll, I can respect it being an update. I do like the upgrade of the background. I do like the upgrade of the colours. I do like... My biggest issue with both these artworks is just how long that neck is. And this one looks more cartoony. It looks like it's a toon version of Blue-Eyes, when it probably doesn't need to. I respect the upgrade. I like the art, the detail in the eyes, and I like more of the detail around the Blue-Eyes itself. It really kind of brings a modernized factor to this one, as you can kind of tell that this is 2000s kind of like art graphic design. And what I mean by that, with no disrespect to the artist behind it, but you can kind of tell the big differences. And it's very rare that you get artworks that are exactly the same side by side. But if you take a look at the feet and the legs, there's like very little detail. Like this is all blacked out, and then the toes don't have much detail to it. But then you look at these and it's like each one is its own little toe. You've got the ball of the ankle there. You've got the spike at the back of it. So like the detail of this one is a heck of a lot better than this one. But it is literally just like a remaster of this one. So if we're talking about artworks in general, I would personally say that this is... I mean, it's quite tricky, because like the LOB one, for nostalgia, is like a B tier. For the nostalgia general behind it. But then if I'm actually going to be talking about actual artwork quality, it's probably a bit of a D rank. And then you'd probably say the remaster is probably a good B. Even then, actually, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to swap the Malefic round. I just think the Malefic looks more threatening as a dragon monster, which is what Blue-Eyes is. It should be a threatening dragon monster. You should be like, whoa, this is a Blue-Eyes, this is scary. Whereas if I see the Legend of Blue-Eyes, I'm like, yo, it's a Reaperdonkus. It's like it's Longfoot. It's like that. It's got a giant neck. It just doesn't really match the rest of the body. So it kind of makes you go, whoa, that's a bit weird. But still cool. So don't take anything away from that. Let's talk about, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do these in a bit of a random order, but it's only because they're pretty much the exact same artwork, which is a little bit lazy from creators of it, but, you know, part and part of it, I guess. So this is, I think this is the Battles of, not Battle, is it Battles of Legend? Legendary Duelist? This is like one of the first Legendary Duelists, and then of course this is the original tablet artwork. So, when you're trying to compare these two together, you can tell that they're the exact same Blue-Eyes artwork. The only difference is this has like the lightning beam in its mouth, whereas this one doesn't. And then obviously with the subsequent lightning beam in its mouth, this one's lit up a little bit more. But it's literally just a copy and paste with a different background. So I will give a pass on the stone tablet one, where how random it looks, because it basically looks like, you know, those moments in like a movie or a TV show where you're looking over a stone tablet and then it highlights something on it that brings it to the front of the screen. So like, I can give it a bit of a pass on that one. This one, I'm like, why the hell is it over planet Earth? Now, I'd understand if this was like some real special world championship, blah, blah, blah. Like, the only upgrade that this has that is better than this one is the burst stream of destruction in its mouth, in my opinion. You can also see like how much shorter the neck is. So like when you're comparing this to the LOB version, where the neck is like, it makes it look like it's so much longer. So like the body proportions are so much better. I do like the artwork. I don't mind it. Like if you take away the background of how random they are in comparison and how they're kind of compared, the actual artwork of the Blue-Eyes White Dragon is really nice. Like I love this kind of like single lined hatching in its wings and all on the shading here. I think that looks really kind of cool. Yeah, so I mean, I suppose you kind of have to compare both of these at the exact same time, and they probably deserve to have the same rank. So I definitely think they're both better. Like their backgrounds let them down. Their backgrounds let them down 100% because they're just so random. In regards to the Blue-Eyes artwork itself, like the Blue-Eyes artwork is the same as Malefic. I would be happy to say that it's definitely better than Longneck. I know a lot of people like the manga one, and if you like it, that's absolutely fine. But for me, the proportions of these three cards are just so off. I'm like, when I'm trying to look at it, I can't look at it without without thinking different things. Like, I want to look at a Blue Eyes White Dragon and go, that's Blue Eyes White Dragon. Like, if I just see the artwork, I want to be like, that's Blue Eyes White Dragon. I don't want to be like, oh, that's like Baby Blue Eyes, or oh, that's an alternate art for the Toon Blue Eyes kind of thing. Yeah, so. Right, now we're down to my, spoiler, 4 favourite artworks. So I'll talk about the one that we officially don't have in the TCG that I'm aware of. And this is the Blue Eyes with Kaiba. Now, this one gets not more of a pass, but more notification because it involves Kaiba. I don't think the Blue Eyes is that great, because I think the head still looks cool, but it looks like the burst stream is behind the head. But I think the Blue Eyes artwork, I'm trying to think, like, if you were to take Kaiba out of this, would the Blue Eyes look, like, would you think the Blue Eyes looks amazing? I personally think it would look pretty cool, but I also feel that it's kind of hiding, like, its legs. What I love about this one, and the other 2 Blue Eyes that I'll talk about apart from the original, is that these are obviously the Kakasuchi ones. These artworks will never be redone. I hope they don't ever get redone, because the work that the man did on these are absolutely stunning. What I love about these, did I leave any of the others up? No, of course I didn't. What I love about, I'm just going to, let me pull up, let's move up the movie one, right? Because the movie one is still one of the best, right? Now, don't get me wrong at all. The movie one is still really, really kind of cool. But what I love about the Kakasuchi ones is they look like he drew them, which he did draw them. But what I mean like that is, you can tell that this was like pen, paper. This was old school drawing. This was like digitally made. Not taking anything away from the artists when they digitally make it, but there's always something you're going to get a little bit different when it's something pure and something like drawn. And I absolutely love this, because this is pure art at its finest. So, the Blue Eyes White Dragon with the Kaiba, in my opinion, it's one of the best. One of the best. So where have I put it? There it is. Now, I don't think he's on... Actually, no, I do think he is. I'm not even going to lie to you. I think it's on the same tier as the movie one. I just think it's absolutely amazing. I suppose the only reason that I would drop it down to an A rank is that we don't have it here in the TCG, and I don't think we'll ever get it here in the TCG, unfortunately. But I think it's an absolutely amazing piece of artwork, and I think it's an absolutely amazing representation of Blue Eyes White Dragon. So, okay, down to the final 3. Now, we'll carry on the Kakasuchis as we go. So, let's go to probably one of the rarer ones around, and that is the Blue Eyes White Dragon on the tower. Now, what I would have loved this tower to be is like just a little icon that said like KC, like the Kaiba Corp tower would have been so good. I love the background on this one. My biggest issue is the background is so good in comparison to the actual Blue Eyes that the background takes away from what the Blue Eyes loses and what the Blue Eyes misses. Now, what I mean by that is the Blue Eyes kind of misses a lot of detail. It definitely looks like a pastel drawing, which is absolutely incredible. But you kind of lose detail in the head and in the face, and then I love the neck, and I love like the actual silver and the shine, and I love the fact that the moonlight is providing the shine to the Blue Eyes. I love the fact that it's on top of this tower, like this clock tower, and I love that its wings are spread and everything else like that. I think the actual shaping and the design of it is absolutely incredible, and I love the half moon. Absolutely love this, because if you look really, really closely, you can kind of see the details of the moon as the like kind of the eclipse kind of comes into play. So I think that looks incredible. I love the stars in the night sky. I love the way the tail wraps around the tower. Like, this one is so good. So nice. I only wish I owned more copies of it, because if I did, I'd probably be playing this above the one that I currently play. But yeah, apart from the detail in the Blue Eyes lacking a little bit in the face area, this is, like, without a shadow of a doubt, this is like an A tier in my opinion. I absolutely love this artwork. And I fully respect them because of the way that they look like they're hand-drawn. So, pastel drawn and everything. Okay. Next one. This is... yeah, this... so good. Now, again, I know, if you look at this straight away and you've never looked at this or seen this before, you're going to be like, I can't tell anything. Like, it is very, very... like, when you look at it at this bit of artwork, I'm going to try and shrink it down so you can see a bit more. But when you look at it at this artwork, it kind of does blend in with a lot of its background. And it's very, very, very fine. And what I mean by that is, when you look at this, there are no hard lines. it's all soft around the side. It literally looks like what they've done is they've drawn it out with pastels and then like wetted it or rubbed it so that there are no hard lines. So it looks like it's all blurred around. I love the wing design. The wing design is one of my favorite, and the fact that the light comes through the wings and it just lights up luminous blue, I think looks absolutely amazing. The background's a little bit odd because obviously the Blue Eyes is in space, and you're like, is this like Blue Eyes Space Dragon kind of thing? I just love the art of it. Like the actual design of this card is absolutely incredible. I can't mention the wings more enough. It gives it such an evil look. My only disappointment is it kind of becomes Blue Eyes Black Dragon, because it looks like it could be a Malefic version. It looked like it could be a Red Eyes version. It's just so dark in comparison. But to me, this is one of my favorite artworks. Like, I personally really, really do like it. But then if you're trying to be subjective and compare it to the rest of it, the fact that the tiny details get lost with no hard lines, no separations, you kind of take that as a disappointment. Like when you look at the tail, you start seeing all these different bits and then it just all of a sudden starts to disappear. Absolutely beautiful piece of artwork, but I don't feel that I could give it a fair high ranking. Like, I would love to put it as the GOAT. I would love it to be the greatest of all time. But unfortunately, like, I feel that it's probably, with overall detail, it's probably the lower, if not the highest B tier of the Kagutsuchis. But, you know, I'm going to put it there. So, the official, the final, Blue Eyes White Dragon artwork. This is amazing. Now, again, this is going to be very, very subjective. The reason that this would be ranked so high, in my opinion, is for the pure nostalgia. The pure feelings I get when I see this card. I remember watching the original anime. I remember watching Kaiba rip this card in half. I remember seeing this card physically as an ultra rare, the first card from the structure deck, how it shined, how it looked. I love the background being like this blue ripple. It has no connection to Blue Eyes whatsoever unless you think it's Blue Eyes coming out of a portal. The Blue Eyes itself looks very motionless, but I love this. I love how it is literally just white, blue, and a bit of dark grey, or a bit of dark blue. The eye looks the best to me. Like, I could stare at this, and the eye, what makes this so good, is the eye is just such a different tone of colour compared to the rest of the Blue Eyes. The lines aren't hard-drawn lines, but you can see that they're so sharp, they're so crisp. You see each individual layer. You see all of the different underneck scales. You see every bit of detail on the toes, the shins, the tail as it wraps around here. Like, this will be higher for me for nostalgia. People will put the movie one higher, and I completely understand that and completely respect that. I have no issues with that whatsoever. For me, this artwork is the artwork that starts all of the other Blue Eyes. Without this artwork, the first artwork we get is Long Neck, which again is okay, but this is so good. It's so nostalgic. It's so beautifully done. Yeah, I absolutely love this artwork. So to me, the original Blue Eyes White Dragon is the greatest of all time. Just because it's so simplistic as well. So like, your eye is drawn to exactly what the card is. It's a Blue Eyes White Dragon. To me, every time I look at this artwork, the first thing I see is the eye. I get drawn to the eye and then I work my way back out. Whereas everything else, sometimes you might look at the background, you might be a little bit more, pay attention to the bit of the background, the details and everything behind it. Like with the movie one as a complete piece of artwork is the best because the dragon looks good, the proportions look good. The only issue I have with it is I wish it was like blue rather than silvery looking, but it's still really kind of cool. I love the background design on the movie version, and I love how the different tones and the different styles are made as well. I think it does look really, really kind of cool. So that's it for all 12 Blue Eyes White Dragon artworks. Now, I know everyone's preferences will be the same. Like, if you got the stone tablet one as your first one, that will probably be your preference. If you were lucky enough to get the manga ones and you like the manga ones, that will be your preference. If you pulled the LOB one, that will be your preference. For me, which is why it is my preference, is because of the original Blue Eyes structure there. It's the original Blue Eyes White Dragon. It was always kind of built up to be this incredibly rare card. It would be the same if I did this for Dark Magician. Like, the original Dark Magician artwork, in my opinion, is the best. It's the one I grew up on. It's the most nostalgic for me, and it just kind of like captivates Yu-Gi-Oh for me. I grew up with Blue Eyes and Dark Magician as the original structure decks. They will not be beaten, in my opinion. I've even seen like the modernized Rush Duel versions, which is probably what I should have found. So let me try and see if I can find it. Blue Eyes White Dragon, Rush Duel. And unlike the LOB one, it didn't really pick itself back up. Here you go. Here's the Rush Duel one. Like, this one doesn't work, in my opinion. So, and I probably should have done this as an artwork, but here you go. So this is the Rush Duel upgrade of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. I don't like it. It doesn't have the same feel. I don't like the head. I think the head just gets like smushed or smashed. Let me open up. Where are you? Is it this one? This one here. So when you're kind of comparing these two, jaw drop doesn't work for me, and then this smushed nose doesn't work. Like, the nose needs to be longer. And then with this one as well, your eye is not drawn to the eye. The eye doesn't stand out in comparison. Like, I think you're drawn to this tusk bit first because it kind of protrudes a bit more, and then you're drawn to the eye. Like, you're drawn to the head. Like, that's the first thing I noticed was the head. I was like, I want this to be like, it doesn't need to be as big. It can drop down there a little bit and come further forward, have like a bit more narrow, like this one. So this is just me voicing my opinions on the artworks. By all means, like I said, everyone's going to have different opinions on something like this. I just thought it was something new, something different that I hadn't done before. Comparing the artworks of Blue Eyes, I think they're all actually really nice and incredible. There are some that just don't hit the mark in comparison to as many of the rest, but I still think it's a really, really kind of fun subject to go over. So, yeah. I'm pretty much going to wrap the recording there. If you do have any questions at all, by all means, please put in the comments down below. I will be more than happy to answer them for you. Let me know what your top ranking is. Maybe just tell me what your top 3 Blue Eyes artworks are, and then we can kind of go from there. Like I said, I think this is always going to be subjective. People will always have different lists than this. I think it's very rare to find people that have different lineup lists on this one, depending on their nostalgia. So, like, if you grew up with the original Blue Eyes White Dragon structure deck, probably more times than not, your preference will be the original Blue Eyes White Dragon. If you came into it when the movies came out, that's kind of where you would adapt it a little bit more as well. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe. And of course, happy dueling.